If you are over 45, your body is not the same as it was in your 20s or 30s. The truth is, many of the health problems that surprise people later in life do not happen overnight. They build slowly year after year, fueled by small mistakes that seem harmless in the moment. What most people don't realize is that these mistakes can be corrected, and when they are, the body responds with more energy, more strength, and more protection against disease. Today, I want to reveal the 5 most common mistakes people over 45 make that silently damage their health, and how stopping them can completely change the course of your future. Ladies and gentlemen, once we cross the age of 45, our body begins to change in ways that are not always visible at first glance. Energy levels, metabolism, bone strength, and even how we respond to food, stress, or sleep, all of these shift gradually. Unfortunately, many people unknowingly hold on to habits that silently work against their health. Today, I want to share with you 5 common mistakes that can have a serious impact on your well-being, and more importantly, how to correct them for a healthier and stronger future. Mistake number 1. Ignoring regular checkups. Many people over the age of 45 fall into the trap of believing that if they feel well, then everything must be fine inside their body. This is one of the most dangerous assumptions you can make about your health, because so many of the conditions that threaten our quality of life and longevity do not show clear symptoms in the early stages. High blood pressure, for example, is often called the silent killer, because you can live with it for years without ever noticing a single warning sign. Yet during that time, it may already be damaging your arteries, your heart, and even your brain. Diabetes can begin quietly as well, gradually affecting your nerves, kidneys, and vision, long before any obvious discomfort draws your attention. The same is true of high cholesterol, thyroid issues, liver disease, and even certain cancers. These conditions rarely announce themselves loudly at the start. Instead, they build quietly in the background, waiting for years until they suddenly cause serious complications. When you reach your mid-40s, your body's natural resilience begins to change. The systems that once compensated for poor habits or minor imbalances no longer work as effectively. A younger body may handle occasional spikes in blood pressure, sugar, or cholesterol without lasting harm. But after 45, these same fluctuations can take a heavier toll. This is why regular checkups are not a luxury. They are a necessity. A simple visit to a healthcare provider for routine screening can give you a snapshot of your internal health that you cannot get from how you feel on the outside. Blood tests can reveal deficiencies, hidden inflammation, and early signs of disease. Imaging studies can detect changes in bones, joints, or organs before pain begins. Even something as basic as having your blood pressure and weight recorded regularly can provide valuable information about trends that might otherwise be missed. It is natural for people to avoid doctors until something goes wrong. Sometimes it is fear, sometimes it is inconvenience, and sometimes it is a belief that nothing serious could possibly be happening. But by the time symptoms appear, a condition may already be advanced and harder to manage. Think about how much simpler it is to repair a small leak in your home compared to waiting until the ceiling collapses. The same principle applies to health. Early detection almost always means easier treatment, fewer complications, and better outcomes. Screenings recommended after 45 can vary depending on family history, lifestyle, and gender, but generally include checks for blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and body mass index. Colon cancer screening, mammograms for women, prostate checks for men, and bone density tests are also critical in this stage of life. Each of these tests is designed not to label you as sick, but to protect your future by catching changes early. Prevention is not about medicine or hospitals. It is about using knowledge to stay one step ahead of disease. Mistake number 2. Poor nutrition habits after the age of 45. The food choices we make each day begin to carry more weight than ever before. In our younger years, the body's metabolism is faster, and it can often recover from late-night meals, excess sugar, or skip nutrients without showing immediate consequences. But as we grow older, the body processes food differently, and the balance between nourishment and harm becomes much more delicate. Continuing poor nutrition habits into the midlife years and beyond is one of the biggest mistakes that silently undermines health. Processed foods, which are often high in refined sugars, trans fats, and excessive sodium, create a heavy burden on the body. They increase the risk of weight gain, which is already harder to control after 45, and they set the stage for serious chronic illnesses such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even certain cancers. Beyond that, processed foods are stripped of essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber, leaving the body deprived of the very tools it needs to function and repair itself. Another common nutritional mistake is over-reliance on sugar. Sugary snacks, desserts, sodas, and even so-called healthy juices cause spikes in blood glucose levels that the aging body is less capable of handling effectively. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, weight gain around the abdomen, and increased risk of metabolic syndrome. These changes not only affect long-term health but also drain energy, leading to fatigue, irritability, and poor concentration during the day. When sugar replaces balanced meals, it weakens the immune system and accelerates aging from within. Unhealthy fats are another hidden threat. Many people continue to consume fried foods, fast foods, and packaged snacks without realizing how damaging the trans fats and highly processed oils are to arteries and heart health. By midlife, arteries naturally begin to stiffen, and adding inflammatory fats into the diet speeds up plaque buildup, narrowing the blood vessels and reducing circulation. This process does not show up in a single day, but it builds gradually until a heart attack or stroke becomes the first and sometimes only warning. Replacing these harmful fats with healthier options such as olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds provides the body with anti-inflammatory support and essential fatty acids that actually protect heart and brain health. Equally important is what many people do not consume enough of: fiber, fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Fiber is essential after 45 because it supports digestion, lowers cholesterol, balances blood sugar, and helps maintain a healthy weight. Vegetables and fruits bring antioxidants that combat the oxidative stress linked with aging. Lean proteins not only maintain muscle mass, which naturally declines with age, but also strengthen bones, hormones, and immunity. Whole grains provide lasting energy and keep the digestive system regular, preventing issues such as constipation and diverticulosis, which become more common in later years. Food, at this stage of life, must be seen not just as a source of enjoyment, but as the foundation of long-term vitality. Every plate is an opportunity to either promote healing and strength or to add stress to organs and systems already working harder with age. When poor nutrition habits continue unchecked after 45, the effects compound quickly, and the margin for error grows smaller with each passing year. Mistake number 3. Neglecting physical activity. One of the most damaging assumptions people make after the age of 45 is believing that slowing down is natural and unavoidable, that physical activity is optional, and that rest or comfort should replace movement. This belief is a major mistake because the human body is designed to move throughout life, and it is precisely in the later decades that regular exercise becomes not only beneficial but essential. When activity levels drop, muscles weaken, joints stiffen, balance declines, and bones lose density at a faster pace. These changes might appear gradual, but their cumulative effect makes people more vulnerable to falls, fractures, and chronic pain that could have been prevented with consistent physical activity. The heart is another organ that pays a heavy price when movement is neglected. After 45, the risk of cardiovascular disease rises significantly, and without exercise, blood pressure, cholesterol, and circulation become more difficult to control. A sedentary lifestyle encourages plaque buildup in the arteries, reduces overall stamina, and weakens the ability of the heart to pump efficiently. Even light activities such as brisk walking, cycling, or swimming keep blood vessels flexible, improve oxygen delivery to tissues, and help maintain a healthy rhythm. Studies consistently show that regular movement reduces the risk of heart attack and stroke by a significant margin, yet many people allow inactivity to quietly damage their cardiovascular health. Weight management is another area closely tied to physical activity. Metabolism naturally slows down with age, and calories are not burned as quickly as before. Without regular exercise, excess weight accumulates, especially around the abdomen, which is directly linked to a higher risk of diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. Even modest physical activity helps burn calories, regulate blood sugar, and maintain muscle mass, which is a key factor in keeping metabolism active. Losing or preventing excess weight is far more difficult without incorporating consistent movement into daily life. The benefits of exercise are not limited to the body. They extend to mental health and cognitive function as well. Physical activity stimulates the release of endorphins, which improve mood, reduce stress, and combat anxiety and depression. It also enhances blood flow to the brain, supporting memory, focus, and overall mental sharpness. For individuals over 45, these effects become particularly important as the risk of cognitive decline grows. Movement is one of the most effective natural tools available to protect the brain against aging. Another critical aspect is bone health. With age, bones become thinner and more fragile, making osteoporosis a real concern, especially for women after menopause. Weight-bearing exercises such as walking, light jogging, or resistance training stimulate bone growth and slow down the loss of density. Stronger bones mean fewer fractures and greater independence later in life. Similarly, strengthening exercises improve balance and coordination, reducing the likelihood of falls, which are one of the most serious health risks for older adults. Physical activity does not have to mean intense workouts at the gym. It can be as simple as gardening, climbing stairs, stretching, yoga, or dancing. The key is consistency and variety. A combination of cardiovascular exercise, strength training, flexibility work, and balance exercises provides the most comprehensive protection. When daily routines exclude movement, the body begins to deteriorate more quickly, and opportunities to prevent disease and maintain independence are lost. Mistake number 4. Not prioritizing sleep is often treated as a luxury rather than a necessity, and this becomes one of the most common mistakes people make after the age of 45. Many individuals cut back on hours of rest to meet work obligations, family responsibilities, or simply to spend more time on entertainment, believing they can get by with less. What they do not realize is that sleep is not passive downtime, but an active biological process during which the body repairs, restores, and prepares itself for the next day. When sleep is neglected, the consequences reach far deeper than morning fatigue. Over time, inadequate or poor quality sleep disrupts nearly every system in the body and accelerates the decline associated with aging. One of the first areas affected by poor sleep is hormone regulation. During rest, the body balances hormones responsible for appetite, stress, growth, and repair. Without enough sleep, cortisol levels remain elevated, placing the body in a constant state of stress. At the same time, the hormones leptin and ghrelin, which control hunger and satiety, become imbalanced. This leads to increased appetite, cravings for unhealthy foods, and eventual weight gain. Because metabolism naturally slows after 45, the combination of poor sleep and hormonal imbalance makes it even easier for weight to accumulate and harder to lose. Sleep is also critical for the immune system. During deep rest, the body produces proteins called cytokines that help fight infection and inflammation. Cutting sleep short reduces the supply of these protective proteins, making it harder to fend off viruses, heal from illness, or recover from injury. For individuals already at greater risk of chronic conditions such as diabetes or heart disease, weakened immunity adds another layer of vulnerability. The cardiovascular system is especially sensitive to disrupted sleep. Blood pressure typically dips at night, giving the heart and blood vessels a period of rest. When sleep is too short or frequently interrupted, this nightly reset does not occur, increasing the risk of sustained high blood pressure. Over time, this raises the likelihood of heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular complications. Research has shown that people who consistently get fewer than 6 hours of sleep are at a significantly higher risk of developing heart disease. Yet many continue to underestimate the value of consistent rest. Cognitive health is another area profoundly influenced by sleep. The brain uses rest to consolidate memories, process information, and clear out waste products that accumulate during the day. Without sufficient deep sleep, focus, decision-making, and memory begin to decline. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation has been linked to a higher risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. For those over 45, when natural changes in the brain are already beginning, poor sleep only accelerates the decline. Even mood and emotional balance are directly tied to rest. A lack of quality sleep increases irritability, reduces patience, and lowers resilience against stress. It becomes harder to manage daily challenges, and relationships often suffer as a result. Chronic exhaustion also increases the likelihood of depression and anxiety, creating a cycle in which mental health issues further disturb sleep patterns, making the problem even worse. Environmental and lifestyle habits play a major role in sleep quality. Stimulants like caffeine and alcohol interfere with the ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. Irregular sleep schedules disrupt the body's natural circadian rhythm, while too much screen time late at night suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals the brain to prepare for rest. Many people believe they are resting simply because they spend enough hours in bed, but without deep, restorative sleep, the body does not receive the full benefits of rest it requires to maintain health after midlife. Mistake number 5. Ignoring stress and mental health. Stress is often underestimated as a health risk, yet after the age of 45 it becomes one of the most destructive forces silently working against the body. Many individuals continue to push through demanding schedules, financial pressures, and family responsibilities without realizing the toll that constant stress takes on physical and mental well-being. Unlike a visible injury, stress operates beneath the surface, triggering chemical and hormonal changes that slowly but surely wear down the body's natural defenses. The release of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline is useful in short bursts, but when these chemicals remain elevated day after day, they begin to damage vital systems and accelerate the aging process. One of the most immediate effects of chronic stress is its impact on the cardiovascular system. Elevated cortisol levels keep the body in a state of alertness, causing blood pressure to rise and the heart to work harder than it should. Over time, this consistent strain leads to stiffening of the arteries, increased risk of plaque buildup, and greater likelihood of heart attack or stroke. Many individuals who appear otherwise healthy are surprised to learn that unmanaged stress was a significant factor behind their cardiovascular issues. After 45, when the natural elasticity of blood vessels is already decreasing, this effect becomes even more pronounced. The immune system is another victim of prolonged stress. Cortisol suppresses immune function, making it more difficult to fight off infections and slowing the body's ability to heal. Small illnesses that might have resolved quickly earlier in life can linger longer, and wounds may take more time to recover. Chronic stress also increases inflammation throughout the body, a condition that has been linked to arthritis, digestive problems, and even the progression of cancer. The very system designed to protect the body becomes compromised, leaving a person more vulnerable to both acute and chronic conditions. Mental health and cognitive function are also deeply affected. Stress interferes with concentration, decision-making, and memory, often leaving individuals feeling mentally foggy or forgetful. Persistent anxiety or worry reduces productivity and diminishes enjoyment of daily life. In the long term, unmanaged stress has been linked to higher risks of depression and cognitive decline. The brain, much like the heart, thrives on balance and stability, and constant stress deprives it of the environment it needs to function optimally. Digestive health is another area where stress leaves its mark. Elevated cortisol disrupts the normal rhythm of the digestive tract, leading to issues such as acid reflux, bloating, constipation, or diarrhea. For some people, chronic stress worsens conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, turning mealtimes into a source of discomfort. Because digestion is closely tied to nutrient absorption, long-term stress can even reduce the body's ability to extract the vitamins and minerals it needs to stay strong. Stress also interferes with lifestyle habits, creating a cycle that further harms health. Many people cope with worry or anxiety by overeating, drinking alcohol, smoking, or spending excessive time on screens, all of which add more strain to the body. Sleep becomes harder to achieve, and without rest, stress levels rise even higher. The combination of poor habits and constant stress creates a downward spiral that is difficult to break once it takes hold. Healthy strategies for managing stress make a remarkable difference. Deep breathing exercises, meditation, spending time outdoors, or engaging in hobbies can calm the nervous system and lower cortisol. Physical activity not only strengthens the body, but also reduces tension and improves mood. Social connections play a critical role as well, since talking to loved ones or participating in community activities helps release emotional burdens. What often matters most is not the presence of stress itself, which is unavoidable, but how effectively it is managed on a daily basis when you reach the age of 45 and beyond. The choices you make each day determine not only how long you live, but how well you live. Ignoring regular checkups, neglecting nutrition, avoiding physical activity, sacrificing sleep, and failing to manage stress are the 5 silent mistakes that gradually steal health, energy, and independence. Each one may seem small on its own, but together they form the foundation of decline. The good news is that change is always possible. By addressing these mistakes, you give your body and mind the tools they need to repair, strengthen, and thrive. Your health is not just about adding years to your life. It is about adding vitality, clarity, and resilience to every year you have. Take action today, because the best investment you can ever make is in the future of your own well-being.